this video, I will show you how to adjust and set up all the drivers in the new Titleist TSR family. Now I have here the Titleist TSR2, the Titleist TSR3 and the Titleist TSR4 drivers. And what I'll do first of all is show you how to adjust loft and lie with the SureFit hosel system that's in all three of these drivers. And then I'll show you how to adjust the CG track system that's in the TSR3, and then this front and back weighting system that is unique to the TSR4 drivers. And we've broken this video down into chapters, so you can jump to whatever section of the video that you want to see most. Now before we start, please press like and subscribe to the Golfbidder YouTube channel. It does help us a lot, and off we go. First of all, let's get adjusting the SureFit hosel system that Titleist use to set up loft and lie on their drivers. Now on the face of it, the SureFit chart can be a little bit confusing at first, but my job is to make it as simple as possible, and I think I can do that. Now I'm going to use the TSR2 driver for the demo, but it is the same in all the drivers. Now when you buy your TSR driver, it will come with a simple adjustment wrench like this one, and this will allow you to remove the head and start adjusting. Now first of all, to open and close the hosel screw in your driver, you just place the wrench into the top of the screw like this and just turn it anti-clockwise, like so. To tighten the screw, you just do the opposite, you turn it clockwise. Now these screws are all the same in all the drivers. When fully tightened, they make an audible click sound to let you know that it is safely locked in place and to avoid over tightening, and that's the click sound. So let's go ahead and open the shaft screw of this driver. I tend to just hold it in my thumb and forefinger, and when fully opened, the head can easily be removed from the shaft like so. Now you'll notice there are two rings on the shaft here. The top ring has letters and the bottom ring has numbers on it, and these all correspond to settings on the Titleist Sure-Fit chart, which I'm going to pop up on the screen here to help you. There are actually 16 different possible settings. We can raise the loft by up to 1.5 degrees, or we can lower it by 0.75 degrees. We can also make the lie up to 1.5 degrees more upright, or make the lie 0.75 degrees flatter. But you don't really need to worry about any of that because it can be made really, really simple. Now, when the driver is assembled in the factory, it is set to the standard loft and lie, and that position is A1, just like this. Now, looking at the SureFit chart on the screen, you can see that straight up from position A1, you have two more loft settings. They are D4 and A4, and straight down from A1 you have one less loft setting, and that is D1. All the other positions to the left of A1, well, they are more draw and more upright settings, and to the right of position A1 you have more fade and more flat settings. So let's start really simply and just add loft first of all. Now if you are in the standard neutral factory position A1 and you just want more loft, you can rotate the cogs to position D4 to add 0.75 degrees of loft, and then line up the little dot on the head and reattach. If you want to add 1.5 degrees of loft, rotate from position A1 to A4 and then reattach the head. Or if you simply want to reduce loft and keep everything else neutral, Well, you've only one choice there. That's position D1, which will reduce the loft by 0.75 degrees. Again, just rotate from A1 to D1 and reattach the head. Now let's play with some more complex settings. So let's say I'm happy with the standard loft, but I want to make the club so that it draws the ball the most. Now I can see on the chart there that I need to find position A2. In that case, I'm going to spin the rings from position A1 to A2 and then reattach the head. If I wanted to hit the ball as high as possible and add as much draw as possible, I can see on the chart there that I need to move it to position A3. Again, swivel the rings to A3, line up the setting with the dot and reattach. Let's do one more draw setting. Just say I want to reduce loft but still add as much draw as possible. That is position D2 on the SureFit chart. And again, I dial in the setting to D2 on the hosel and I reattach the head. Next, let's do some fade settings. Now, keeping standard loft but adding in a fade bias means I need to move from position A1 to B1. Adding maximum loft and maximum fade, I can see on the chart that is position B4. And reducing loft with maximum fade, I would need to find position C1. So once you have the SureFit chart and identify on there what you want the ball to do in terms of going high, low, draw or fade, it's actually really simple to choose whatever setting you like, and it literally takes seconds to change. And you can always change back to the standard position A1. So don't be afraid to experiment and play with all the settings that are available to you. Now, a quick note for you left-handed players: the SureFit numbering system on the chart for left-handers is different from Titleist, but the theory is the same. So do make sure to check out the left-handed chart for all you lefties out there. We also have a video on how to adjust your left-handed Titleist driver, which we'll link to in the description. So you won't be left out. Make sure to check that out. Now let's move on to the Titleist TSR3 driver and look at adjusting the SureFit CG track system. Now, looking at the track, you'll see the labels on the settings. You have N for neutral in the middle. You have H1 and H2 standing for heel 1 and 2, and you have T1 and T2 standing for toe 1 and 2. Now, if I zoom in and show you a close-up of the TSR3 driver, Titleist say that even very good players tend to miss the sweet spot. Some miss consistently towards the heel and others towards the toe. Now, they call a slight miss towards the heel H1, more of a miss towards the heel H2. They call a slight miss towards the toe T1, more of a miss towards the toe T2. So if you find that you miss the sweet spot consistently in any one of these positions, you can reposition the sliding weight in the track here to that position to produce a longer and a corrective strike. So if I find that I miss towards the heel consistently and feel I'd like to try position H2, I can use my adjustment wrench to open the track screw until the weight moves freely, then slide the weight from the N position to the H2 position and tighten until you hear that click. Now, what I'm essentially doing by moving this weight into this H2 position is I'm putting the weight directly behind where I strike the ball, and it should result then in a better hit. Now the other thing that position H1, H2, T1 and T2 will do is give the driver a subtle draw or fade bias. If you want to draw the ball or correct a slice, you can slide the weight to the H2 or heel 2 position or the H1 position if you want more of a subtle draw setting. If you want to fade the ball or correct a hook, you can slide the weight to the T2 or toe 2 position, or if you want a more subtle fade bias, you can move it to the T1 position. So now I'm going to put the weight back to this neutral position here in the center. I'll slide it back over, tighten it up, wait for the click, there it is. And it's back at the neutral position. Now other brand drivers use draw and fade markings in their sliding weight tracks, but this Titleist H1, H2, T1, T2 system does make great sense. You can use them primarily to put the weight behind where you hit the ball. Using them to draw or fade bias the head will be much more subtle. How you set the club up with the SureFit hosel system will have a much greater effect on how the ball reacts when hit with the TSR3 driver. And finally, let's look at adjusting the weighting on the TSR4 driver. On this one, you have removable weight screws. Both have the same shape, but one is light and one is heavy. You can loosen and remove them in exactly the same way with the adjustment wrench. Just put in your adjustment wrench, turn it anti-clockwise, and they pop out. Now, if I put the heavy weight to the front like so and tighten it up until I hear the click, I'm pushing forward the center of gravity of this driver to the maximum, and I'll get the lowest spinning ball flight. In this setting, there's a trade-off really. If you strike the ball in the center of the club face and hard, you will get the longest drives with almost a knuckleball, low penetrating flight. But this setting with the heavy weight at the front is the least forgiving. Miss the sweet spot and the ball is going to be hard to control. A poor connection and your ball can dive bomb from the air. So do be aware of that and do experiment on the range. Moving the heavy weight to the back then and the light weight to the front makes this driver more forgiving, but it sacrifices a few yards. The center of gravity then is more towards the back here. There's more spin, there's a slightly higher trajectory, there's more control. Titleists say that in this setting, it plays more like the Titleist TSR3 driver, sort of like a 3.5 version. So there we have the new Titleist TSR family, how to adjust the SureFit hosel system common to them all, and then how to set up your TSR3 and your TSR4 to suit you best. Now, if you're still wondering which of these drivers suit you best, we've also made a short video on that, which we will link to in the description. Now, if you like this video again, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the Golfbidder YouTube channel, and check us out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for all the very latest from me. For now though, it's Donal out.